Irish guy, and Frank Lampard is the Chelsea manager again. Graham Potter has just been replaced by the bloke who got replaced by the bloke who Potter replaced. Oofed. That's embarrassing. Lads, hit that subscribe button if you're new. Join the journey here at the Irish Guy channel. Honestly, it's a great little family, but this news, oofed. But right now, Twitter is responding to the news that Lampard is caretaker Chelsea boss. You're reacting as if you've just been told by your mum that she's going to marry Mark Goldbridge. You'd probably start screaming until your lungs gave out. But people want to sneer at Lampard because of pure jealousy, right? I mean, people thought this man was coasting on his big name in football to land huge monster clubs that he didn't deserve. I mean, as an intern novice, someone with the managerial experience of a dead chicken, he was getting jobs that he just didn't deserve. It's ironic, because while coming through as a player at West Ham, he was accused of having a big fat silver spoon in his mouth. That wasn't true, but as a manager, oh yeah, he's literally choking on crystal cutlery. I mean, Sir Alex Ferguson had to begin his management career with East Stirlingshire. Sounds like somewhere a real life Bilbo Baggins might live. Arsene Wenger's first job was taking charge of Nancy, something which got Sven-Göran Eriksson sacked. Jurgen Klopp started back in 2001 with Mainz 05. Claudio Ranieri is one of the most beloved men in football, but I would bet my entire set of teeth that not a single one of you can name his first football club, not even Alfie off sevens. I mean, if you can in the next 4 seconds, then I will shove this entire camera in my mouth. It was Vigor Lemezia. Anyone know that? Nah, it sounds like a type of fungus which might grow in your armpit. Manuel Pellegrini used to coach O'Higgins, which I can only assume was a Chilean-Irish bar. Eric Ten Hag's first job was with Go Ahead Eagles, which sounds like Gandalf's final pep talk in Lord of the Rings. So, do you see? Lampard, purely for his name alone, was offered jobs at massive clubs like Ipswich Town and Derby County. Fallen giants, yes, but I mean, they've got statues of Sir Bobby Robson and Brian Clough outside the ground, and Lampard walked straight into a top championship job, where he's able to pick the likes of Keo Tomori, Mason Mount, and even Ashley Cole. He then fails to get promoted, and so gets the Chelsea job. Then he gets sacked at Stamford Bridge and walks into Everton. Frank Lampard, a managerial novice, was for some reason deemed an upgrade on Gary Rowett, Mauricio Sarri, and Rafa Benitez. Sarri and Benitez were the experienced European coaches, but I mean, Lampard is just a new, younger model without much substance. Honestly, it's been like in 20 years' time, and Ben Affleck walking out on J-Lo to instead get off with that airhead receptionist who can't even locate China on a map. Lampard was a shallow appointment for both Chelsea and Everton. But I get the jealousy, but don't be jealous, because this is not what you think. Lampard is now being reduced to being a caretaker coach at just 44. That is not a good look. That is a terrible look. Being caretaker manager is what happens to the over-the-hill dinosaurs who just want one last payday to avoid having to sit in watching Sandra Bullock films with their wife. I mean, right now, Roy Hodgson is not officially a caretaker, but he is a caretaker. He's essentially the senile version of groundskeeper Willie. But fine. I mean, it's dignified to be a caretaker at 75, but 44? No, I just feel bad for Frank. No dignified manager worth his salt takes a caretaker job before they turn 50. They just don't do it. For Lampard, this is degrading. He's returning to keep the Stamford Bridge seat warm, while his former employers go out there interviewing person after person until they find the one they actually want. I mean, it's been like hearing that things haven't worked out for your ex-wife, the one that you're still in love with. I mean, she's just gone through a breakup, and so you agree to come over and babysit her kids while she just goes on dates looking for Mr. Right? Just no! If it gets to the middle of May and Lampard sees Luis Enrique or Pochettino in the Stamford Bridge canteen, you better believe it, he's going to cry into his soup. People seem to think that Lampard is an embarrassing choice. I'm sorry, no. No. Caretakers are different to interim managers. An interim manager is usually given half the season, so they're usually a good coach. There's a higher level of responsibility. I mean, they come in at Christmas, like Gus Hiddink or Rafa Benitez at Chelsea, Hansi Flick at Bayern Munich, but caretakers, they are the grimy, desperate men who jump at the chance to scrape a 6-week job. I mean, you think Lampard at Chelsea is embarrassing? No. This is his third Premier League job. Go back to the 08-09 season. Newcastle hired 2 caretaker managers. One of them was Joe Kinnear, the former manager of India and Nepal. He hadn't managed in 4 years, and began his career as assistant manager at Al-Shabaab. The second one, Alan Shearer, in April, he was just yanked straight off the set of the BBC. 2 years ago, Jose Mourinho was sacked by Tottenham. And their caretaker boss, Ryan Mason, a 29-year-old baby who probably has posters of the Teletubbies on his wall. As far as caretaker managers go, Lampard is fine. Dare I say it, actually good, but I would just worry for his dignity. I mean, he's returning to have a crack at winning the Champions League. He's going to be sharing a dugout with Carlo Ancelotti. Again, I mean, I guess they've got things in common. Both guys used to manage Chelsea and Everton. Although, with Ancelotti, back in 2011, he was sacked in the toilets at Goodison Park. Can't a Champions League winner even be afforded the dignity of being able to squeeze out a poo in peace without losing his Chelsea job? Honestly, every time Carlo uses a cubicle now, he probably breaks out in a panic attack. As caretaker boss, Frank is fine. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer deserved derision. I mean, sure, laugh at his appointment at Old Trafford because he wasn't the caretaker boss. He was one rung up. He was interim. A failed Cardiff City manager who is now coaching in Norway. That was a joke. Lads, 4 interim managers have replaced Mourinho in the Premier League. From Grant, Gus Hiddink, Solskjaer and Mason. Grant will go on to finish bottom of the Premier League twice. Hiddink grew up to manage China under-21s and Curacao, while Solskjaer and Mason, compared to Jose, were just football scarecrows. And Lampard is better than Bruno. This man doesn't know Chelsea, and Chelsea don't know him. I know the man is probably an environmentally conscious bookworm, but Chelsea have turned Potter into a litter bug because he just left Bruno behind. It's been like breaking up with someone and then realizing, oh no, she's left a sock under the bed. So what do? You put the sock in a bin. Don't suddenly start worshipping the sock. Don't bring your sock on trips to the cinema. Don't get butterflies at work while thinking about your first kiss with the sock. Bruno is Potter's sock. Bruno has nothing to do with Chelsea, so Lampard is an obvious upgrade. I mean, my bar for caretakers is so astonishingly low. To me, I think Harry Redknapp would be a decent caretaker coach at Tottenham for a month. Sure, why not? To me, hiring a caretaker is like hiring a clown for your 4-year-old's birthday party. It doesn't really matter if they failed every exam at school. As long as they're not on the register, then sure, take my son on the bouncy castle. Lampard is basically going to be the Chelsea manager for a little longer than Freddie Ljungberg was the Arsenal boss. But did the sky fall in when the desperately unqualified Swede sat in the Gunners' dugout? It was a weird, short little stint, but it was fine. But lads, what this makes you realize is it pays to quit Everton. If there's one job in world football that you want to sack you, oh, it's Everton. I'm Simon, if I'm Sean Dyche, I am praying to lose my job at Goodison Park. If I'm Dyche, then right now, I'm striding straight into Bill Kenwright's office to vomit in his face. Maybe use that sweet little photo of his niece to wipe my bum, because every manager who leaves Everton immediately gets their dream job, and a job that's above their station. If you'd asked me 10 years ago, what would David Moyes' next job be? My guess was, I don't know, replace Harry Redknapp at Spurs? No! Manchester United. What about Roberto Martinez? I don't know. Crystal Palace? No! The golden generations with Belgium and Portugal. I mean, he's got more world-class footballers in his phone book than Chunks. What about Ronald Koeman when he got fired? Oh, I don't know. Back to Feyenoord? No! He got Holland and Barcelona. Carlo Ancelotti left Everton for another crack at Real Madrid. When Ozzy, at his age, and with the way his career was heading, he looked like he was now at the level of a Chinese Super League. And now Lampard leaves Everton, doesn't even get offered the Leeds job, and yet bounces back with Chelsea. Leaving Everton is a golden ticket, which is why I'm furious at what Leicester City are trying to pull. Leicester City have a caretaker boss. Adam Sadler. No, not that hideous egg off 51st dates. No, Sadler is just some ex-goalie coach for Man City under-18s. Tavria Simferopol, and then just took up a job feeding cookies to Nigel Pearson. Although weirdly, nobody remembers, but Pearson was once the Premier League caretaker coach too for Newcastle United. He went to Old Trafford and lost 6-0, but Leicester want a better caretaker coach. And oh, this headline just makes me angry.
Leicester consider Martin O'Neill and Rafa Benitez and hunt for experienced caretaker manager.
Tell me, this is horrible. A caretaker role is already demeaning enough, but to stick both O'Neill and Benitez on the same shopping list. Sure, I mean, these two men probably hate each other, because, you know, 15 years ago, they spent 2 summers fighting over Gareth Barry. Honestly, it was a love triangle so dull and boring, you'd swear it was ripped off the script for Grey's Anatomy. But with O'Neill, I get it. He's a past dinosaur coach, a former Leicester City legend as manager, but these days, he's had one job in club management inside the last 10 years, and now just 5 months in the championship with Nottingham Forest. I mean, again, when we're speaking about managers' first clubs, he started with Grantham Town and Shepshed Charterhouse, and he was a European champion as a player. Oh, Lampard, don't you realize how easy you got it? But O'Neill, he's got caretaker coach written all over his face. But Rafa, inside the last 10 years alone, he's managed Chelsea, Napoli, Real Madrid, Newcastle United, Dalian Professional, and Everton. If I was Leicester City chairman, I wouldn't dream of offering him a caretaker role. It would be less of an insult if you rang him up to tell him that his wife looked like a female Shrek. You're essentially telling Benitez that you don't trust him enough to give him the full-time job at Leicester, so instead, oh, just come in and manage 10 games. Just, no. It would be like a musical superstar like Stevie Wonder. He's waiting for the phone to ring and offer him the next halftime Super Bowl show. And when he finally does answer his phone, it's just someone asking if they can hire him for their Auntie Margaret's 60th birthday. Oh, he'd be so insulted. He'd probably choose to eat the phone. And not just because he's blind. Rafa Benitez was nearly winning the Premier League title with Liverpool when Leicester were rotting in League One. O'Neill, yes, fine. Caretaker, yes. But Rafa, don't you dare offer him that job. He is ex-Everton. Every manager who leaves Goodison Park gets an instant glow-up on LinkedIn. So by that logic, Benitez should probably be getting offered the Juventus job. Not a part-time Leicester fling, but where does Lampard go from here? I mean, forget about winning the Champions League. No. If anyone thinks Ancelotti is going to be outwitted by Frank, but I guess you might as well lay a couple of places at dinner time for the Tooth Fairy and Mickey Mouse, you naive little flower. I don't think this is a bad decision by Chelsea. As far as caretaker managers go, yeah, it's good. People like to pretend that while Chelsea manager, it was basically like having Mr. Potato Head in the dugout. It wasn't. For a managerial baby, Lampard did well. He was the only Chelsea manager in living memory who wasn't allowed to spend a single penny when he first joined. And he helped them finish 4th in the league, took them to an FA Cup final, only lost the European Super Cup on penalties to a ruthless Liverpool winning machine. This is a guy who was once voted manager of the month. I mean, I think he was fine. This is a guy who bleeds Chelsea blue and has the respect of all the players. Don't forget, he was the one to bring through the likes of Reece James and Mason Mount. He even wanted the club to buy Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang from Arsenal. I mean, to be fair, he also asked the board to buy James Tarkowski. Yeah, sidelining a future Galactico like Antonio Rudiger to instead try and buy Burnley toys. That alone probably caused Marino Granovsky out to assume that Lampard had gone full Jack Torrance and completely lost the plot. I mean, give him 3 more hours in charge and he'd probably start hacking at the bathroom door with an axe. And lads, everyone is happy to see Lampard back at the club. I mean, except Kepa. But come on, as caretaker managers go, Lampard is an actual manager. Ryan Giggs was once a Manchester United caretaker coach for one of the biggest and most scrutinised jobs in world football, and he had never managed in his life. Lampard has. And he's managed in the Champions League too. But where? Where does he go from here? Who actually ever wants to appoint someone after they were a caretaker coach? Nobody. Kenny Dalglish is one of the biggest names in British football. He's a Premier League title winning manager, but he made the fatal mistake of becoming caretaker coach at Celtic in 2000. Yeah. He didn't get another job for 11 years after that. I worry for Lampard, I really do. Because once you become a caretaker manager, you can never come back from that. Either he does really well and becomes the permanent Chelsea boss, but again, I honestly think there's more chance of me growing a daffodil out of my eye, or he just fades away into the abyss. Honestly, if you look at Manchester United and the likes of Giggs and Ralph Rangnick, their next jobs were in international management. That's my prediction for Lampard. And it won't be the England job either. No, when Lampard is again unemployed in the summer, I reckon he's going to be the next manager of something weird like Sweden. Which would be very ironic because that's where Potter began his career. Anyway, that's let me know what do you think. Let me know in the comments where is Lampard going to go. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share with you always. I'll talk to you in a while.